Motorhead Garage hits the road to California as Sam and Dave drop in at Flowmaster for some sound judgment. Of course, switching to a Hurst shifter makes perfect sense, but would you be willing to cut the exhaust off a brand new truck?
Welcome to Motorhead Garage. Well, guess where Sam and I ended up today? We're here in California, here at Flowmaster, and we're going to see what we can do to give this truck a little bit better sound.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, Sam, how are you? Welcome to B&M Hurst and Flowmaster.
Hey, well, thank you. This is one of our favorite toy stores, you know.
It's one of ours, too. We enjoy it here. We build lots of cool stuff in here. I think you guys will have a good time while you're here.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let you guys massage this truck a little bit. I want to see some of the new Hurst stuff from Mopar you got.
Oh, great. Well, we've got a brand new Challenger 6-speed shifter you're going to love.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a great piece.
Well, why don't I go find it and go put it on? How about that?
All righty.
Don't break it in the process.
I'll try not to.
Hey, now, I tell you what, this truck sounds great. You know, it's a good truck and everything.
Sure.
The only problem is it doesn't really sound like a truck.
I understand.
I'd like to give it a little bit more volume, a little bit better sound.
We've got an American Thunder system I think you'll really love. We actually have 3 sound levels of systems. We have the Force 2 system, the American Thunder system, and what we call the Outlaw system. And that's the way they go on sound
ask about
levels.
the Outlaw system.
No, you don't.
I know what that is.
It's awful loud. It's just exactly what it means. But the American Thunder system will sound great.
This gives it a little bit throatier sound, like it's got something, right?
Yeah, it'll really beef it up. And we have somebody here today who's going to help you put one on.
Oh, good, because at my age, I need help.
We have Lee Thompson, who is our Vice President of Research and Development.
Hey, Lee, good. Thank you so much. Let's get started on this thing. Now I got to help her.
Yeah, all right.
Let's get going, Lee.
Well, we got a pretty neat car here. This is a 2013 Dodge Challenger. Awesome car. Pearl black paint, 5.7 Hemi, 6-speed Tremec, 20-inch wheels and tires. But you know, you got a nice 6-speed car. Let's take a look at what the factory does for a shifter. Look at this thing. You know, a couple of steel rods welded. Here's where it pivots. And although it's got a round ball in there, it's some kind of a plastic or foam or something in there. Not going to last real good. You got a 6-speed Tremec transmission. You're going to be shifting it. You want to upgrade it, make it really nice. So what we're going to do is we got the Hurst Billet Plus shifter. This thing is awesome. Look at this nice piece of billet. Rugged, all machine, got nice bushings in it. But here's the interesting thing. It has a true spherical type bearing in there. It's all bearing. It's smooth as glass, tight as can be. Going to shorten up the stroke. And the neat part is we'll put this in, you hammer shifts for 3 or 4 years, it's going to have the same exact feel then as when we're putting it in. You got a nice chrome shifter. This will accept the stock shifter if you want to keep the stock look. Get a nice set of instructions. You can do all of this from up here. If you have a lift, it'll make it a little easier, but I'm going to do most of it from here. List of tools. First thing we got to do is pop off this boot. When you pry these things up and take them out, don't just pull them, because there's wiring. We have a light in here, little pin here. You pull this connector out. And then down here, we have a 12-volt DC outlet. You need to disconnect that also. So take your wiring, get your little screwdriver to depress this little clip in there, and that should come right out. I had to take this rubber boot off here. There's a plenum that brings heat to the rear seat. That comes out of the way. Now you have this metal cover, and there's a series of 10mm screws, and then there's the rear shift mount, which sticks up through here. That's 13mm. We'll take this bolt off. Once we do that, this nut here, remove that, and save all your hardware. There's a nice flange on that. Then this thing here, you can see the shifter starting to move. I'll take my little screwdriver, and I work this loose. And by the way, one of the things you want to do is get yourself some of these plastic tools, because everything you're popping apart is plastic. You don't want to scratch the plastic chrome or break something. These little plastic tools work good. This is metal. This comes off, nice heavy reinforcing piece. You can see the shifters right there. Now all we have to do is take this bolt out. There's a couple of little clips up here. We'll pull the pins apart. We can start the installation. Let's see what Davey's doing.
One of the first things you want to do when you get your Flowmaster exhaust system is pull out the instructions. Read through them so you get familiar with the pieces. And when speaking of pieces, then the next step is to go through, make sure you have everything there, figure out how it all goes together. Let's go ahead and get started on that, Lee. Let's pull this apart. Now, this is going to be a dual exhaust system, right?
Yes, it sure is. It's going to be dual out the rear or out the side.
Yeah, and now when we say dual, what we're really meaning is it's still a single exhaust through here, but it's going to have a dual outlet on the back, which is pretty popular these days. A lot of guys are doing that, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's really a popular trend. It's a big reason for adding a performance exhaust on is to customize your vehicle.
Yeah, it makes it look really good too. Now, it comes with everything in here, including you've got 2 tips that are going to come out. I want to show you what these look like. Nice polished stainless steel tips. I mean, these are high quality. These are nice looking pieces here. Then we have, of course, our muffler, and that's going to be the heart of the system. That's going to give us that great sound that we're talking about. We got a few more little pieces in here, but this is the pipe that's going to go from the cat back. Then everything attaches to this, the muffler and everything else. So looks like we got everything here. We'll go ahead and we'll clean this out, and in the meantime, we're going to start taking that old system down. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have you help us out with that, so stay tuned.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Quick Fuel, innovators in fuel systems. OPG, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. And by Flowmaster, the exhaust technology company.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, I've had the old shifter out, but I wanted to show you how it's attached. There's these pins. They actually plug through, go into the transmission, and they just rotate. This little sheet metal clip snaps it around, one on each side. I'll take it out right here. And that way you can see, you can do all of this from right up here. And here's the one on the left side. They screw those bushings into the transmission and it clips on. Now, one of the things you want to do before you get rid of the original shifter, there's a boot on top and bottom. I've taken them off. And you're going to put those on the new shifter right here because you want to make sure you keep all the dirt out of the bushings. This has got a Teflon line, spherical bushing in there to give you a good solid shift. Now look at this. This is really a great piece of work from Hurst. You know, they've been building stuff for a long time, both aftermarket and OE. 6061 T6 billet aluminum, all machined out. This here is forged chrome moly. This little shift lever, so that's not going to break and bend. This is stainless steel. It's E-coated. That's the rear mount. Got the bushings in it. And the way this thing is all bushed, totally isolated from the transmission, so you're not going to get any vibration through there. The boots go on it, keep it nice and clean. Little tip, these bushings right here are not designed to have grease. Where the bolt goes through to our shift linkage. Don't grease and all you're gonna do is attract dirt. And again, it's really well made. When we put this in with the shifter that's supplied, which is steel, by the way, it's not a casting, and it's chrome, it's gonna reduce your shift row by 30%. That's a third. It's a lot. It's gonna be nice and quiet, smooth, gonna work great. And again, it goes back in. Once I put the boots on it, put these pins in, follow the instructions. All you need is simple hand tools. Just don't tear your boots. If you tear up a boot, go to the dealer and get a new one so you can keep trash out of everything. While I'm putting this together, let's see how Davey's doing.
Oh, poor old Sam, he has a tough job. I got to be under here doing this. Anyway, what I've done here is I've gone ahead and got this clamp undone or loosened up here on the pipe that goes right to the catalytic converter right here. Now, on some of these systems, if they've been on there for a long time, a little trick for you is to take some penetrating oil, spray all this stuff down, spray your rubber hangers down, let it set for a few minutes. It'll make it a whole lot easier for you to get this thing off. Okay, so I got this loose. Now the next step is we're going to have to go and cut the end of the tailpipe off. And Lee, that's where you come in on this thing.
Yeah, it's not mandatory, but it makes it a lot easier to get the system out, especially if you're trying to do this on the ground.
Right.
There's no way you could get it out without cutting it. So we're going to go ahead and cut it off right behind the muffler here.
Okay, and we've also put a stand on here to give the muffler a little bit of support because once he cuts that loose, then that's going to cause this to drop down a little bit. So I'll be here to help hold on to it. But meantime, Lee, go ahead, whack her off, buddy. Okay, Lee, let me get this one started here. There we go.
And one more back here.
This is why it's important to put a little bit of lube on that because they will slide off. There we go. There we are. All right, you got it. All right. Well, now you can see how easy that was. Wasn't too bad, though. I've taken out some that's been a lot tougher than that. That came out in pretty good shape. Well, now the next step is we'll go ahead and put the other one together and start getting it installed. Meantime, we're going to take a short break. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, we got our new Hurst Billet Plus shifter in. Look at this thing, it's beautiful. Put my pins back in here, nice and tight, no play. Of course, we got this little stud on the back that when I put the metal cover on, it's gonna bolt it up, it'll be rigid. And you can see how nice this lines up. Now you get a nice chrome shifter, and it's got some slots in it. They match up, made up with this. You get the bolts supplied with it. You bolt it up, and again, we're gonna have 30% less travel. That's a third. That's going to give you a quicker, smoother shift. It's going to feel good. Now, if you want to keep your car looking original, okay, you can take your original floor shift lever that came from the factory, and you see that has a pin and a little deal here. That actually goes in the back. So Hurst has provided you with provisions to look just like box stock. So what I need to do now is put our metal plate back on, put some of the bolts in here, get this thing all secured, and we'll get ready. While I'm doing that, let's see how Davey's doing.
Okay, folks, well, what I've done now, we've got the exhaust system off, and what you want to do is take the clamp here, and you want to reuse this. You can just take this off of the old exhaust system. It's just got a little clip right here that retains it. Break that off, and you use that. And what I like to do is turn it this way so that the hex is down. It's easier to work on. So we'll put it on here like so. And then we can go ahead and start to put up our pipe. But Lee, before we do that though, you want to make sure you have the right size. And you got different sizes for this for the different trucks, haven't you?
Yeah, this system was designed and intended to fit various bed and cab configurations. So we've included detailed instructions in the instruction kit. Some wheelbases you may need to trim it, or you may need to use an extension pipe that's included in the kit.
So it's pretty versatile for whatever you got right there.
This system will fit any bed and cab configuration.
And that's why it's important to read the instructions before you get started.
Exactly.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll slide this up, slide it over, and let me get this lined up here. You're gonna get the clamp over it. And now we got that started. Let me go ahead and get this started just a little bit. And so it'll stay. Okay, get it started. That's loose. Now we'll go ahead and put this up. All right, so that'll hold on to that. All right, now, next step is the muffler. And you know what's unique about this is a lot smaller than the original one. You can see that there's a big comparison between the two. So let's go ahead. And do we need to put a clamp over that?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's get the clamp.
It's in the hardware kit.
And we'll slide that over, and then we can put this up. Meantime, let's check out Sam and see what he's up to.
Well installed, look at this thing, it's beautiful. Now let me put my foot in the clutch here. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Barely moved, it's very, very rugged. All that's left for me to do is get the original boot here. There's a nice little rubber grommet that they give you that goes on the shift. You turn this inside out, put it around the grommet, and a tie wrap will hold it in place. And you know, this is beautiful. If you want to use the stock shifter, like I said, it'll go right back on. But Hurst has got you covered. They got a whole line of all kinds of sticks and knobs. Everything's compatible with this shifter, including, if you remember back to the early cars, the 70s, the wooden pistol grip shifter. They got those too. They got you covered. So I'll go ahead and put this together, take this thing out for a little spin. Right now, we're going to take a break. Stick around. We got a lot more coming here on Motorhead Garage.
On this week's restoration tip, we're going to talk about the most important thing when you buy an old car, which is safety. This is our 1971 Oldsmobile Cutlass convertible we picked up as a project car, and we're going to talk about brakes. Okay, so we're going to take the wheel off and see what we got to deal with here. So we got here is drum brakes on this car, which are stock, very outdated and very unsafe for today's modern driving. So what we have for you at Original Parts Group is a disc brake conversion kit. We offer everything to convert this car to stock disc brakes or upgrade it in a stainless steel kit or cross-drill kit. But this is your standard disc brake, and this right here is going to make your car stop like a brand new car. What you get with the kit is a full loaded spindle set, which includes the calipers, the rotors, all your bearings, master cylinder, power brake booster, proportion valve, and all your lines, and instructions that come with this. So when you install this kit on your car, you're gonna notice the biggest difference, and you're gonna feel safe, which is the most important thing. And that's this week's OPGI restoration tip.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Ultra Dent, manufacturer of paintless dent repair tools. Low Car, quality plain and simple. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Hurst, America's #1 shifter. And by Lizard Skin, spray your way to a cooler, quieter ride.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, folks, you can see we've got our muffler system and exhaust system partially on. A couple little tips here. One in particular is, and you'll see us do this, once you put it on, we'll put the clamps on, we'll just kind of snug them down a little bit. You want to leave everything relatively loose, then you can fit it properly. Once you get everything fitted properly, clearance is right, then you go ahead and tighten these things down, and then you should be in good shape. But if you try to do that ahead of time and fit stuff, what do you run into, Lee?
Oh, a lot of trouble.
A lot of problems.
A lot of trouble.
Okay, man, the next step now is, let's go ahead and we'll get this crossover pipe here.
We don't want to forget to put the clamps on the outlets before we put the pipes in.
I hate to tell you, folks, but we've learned that by hard experience, right?
Many times.
Okay, here we go. Okay, and so put this on first.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll slide this in. Okay, there we go. We're in. How you doing over there on that one, okay?
Yep. Got it in.
All right. This goes over here like so. Got it there?
Got it.
All right. Now let me go ahead and see if I can slide this bad boy in. I gotta roll this over here so I can get the clamp in. There we go. Now we're in. And one of the tips is put your pipe in the hanger. Okay, I'm in. All right. Here. Put your pipe in the hanger first, then work it in like into your muffler. You'll find a lot of times that'll go a lot easier. Okay, how we doing over there, buddy?
Doing good. We'll go ahead and put on this rear exit pipe.
Okay. My socket's here. Can you reach it?
There, I'll let you do that.
Okay. I figured I'd get that job. One of the things that comes with a kit is a hanger right up here for this to go. So I'll slide this on like so. There you go. And again, don't forget to put your clamp on, otherwise you'll be taking it back off. What we want to put on here is our extensions. And tell me about these, Lee. Now you got two different ones here. What's the story?
Yeah, one of the things that sets the Flowmaster systems apart is we offer two different exit styles in the kit. Mm-hmm. You can either go directly out, dual out the rear under the bumper, or you can go dual out the sides.
Okay, so we're going to go out the side, right?
The customer chose to go outside on this one.
Okay, so that's one of the most popular things going, so we'll go ahead and do that. Clamp on here. Slide this on like so. And again, we'll clamp her down a little bit here so it'll stay. Now, one thing you want to be careful of is you got to be aware of your clearances, and you don't want your exhaust pipe rubbing up against your spare tire or any lines or anything like that, so you want to make sure you have plenty of clearance for that. All right, that'll do that. And of course, this is what we call the coup de grace, or whatever they call that, right? That's where we put these beautiful extensions on here. And all you gotta do is just slide these on like so. I'm having a little bit of a problem here, Lee.
I'll tell you what, Dave, there's a trick to that. You need to just rotate it a little bit, about 90 degrees. And then pop it on.
There you go.
You know, a lot of times guys will use an impact gun, but when it comes to alloy wheels, I'm all about wrenches, especially going back with torque wrenches. Got a brand new Camaro here. I just finished the shifter installation in the Mopar. This car, if you buy a manual transmission Camaro, at the dealership level, there's an option you can check and you can get a Hurst shifter from the factory. In fact, the Copo cars have it as standard equipment. Hurst also has a nice line of wheels. This particular wheel is called the Dazzler, and it's got inserts in it. You get this with 5 gold inserts and 5 black inserts. So you can change the color. If you want it body colored, you got an extra set, just have them painted. It'll match the body color. Again, this is called the Dazzler. It's available in a lot of sizes. This is a 20-inch. Now, in this Hurst Supercharged Limited Edition Camaro, they got a nice wheel that's called the Stunner, and they also have the Shaker. So there's lots of wheels available from Hurst. Really dress up your Camaro or any of your cars, and they got a lot of options, back spacing, dimensions for the diameter and so on. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take these wheels off. I'm going to get the lugs loosened, put the lift up, stick these on, torque them down, and we'll be all set to go.
Okay, folks, well, you can see we spent a little bit of time here getting this thing on, but I'll tell you what, it went on pretty nice, Sam.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks great. Did a good job, and I'll tell you what, the wheels in that Camaro, they look good, and that little RT Challenger with that 6-speed and that shifter, it was a fun car to drive.
And that wasn't hard to put on either, was it?
Nah, nothing to it, I'll tell you what. They did a great job with that shifter now. This looks good.
It is, and I tell you, when you go and put one of these on, it went on pretty simple, but you want to spend a little extra time when you have it all on to make sure you get it all aligned properly, all your clearances set up, and then tighten it up. And that's what we did. So we're ready to hear this thing. Hey, Lee, fire this bad boy up, will you?
Sounds good. That's a nice mellow tone.
That sounds like a truck that I want to drive.
All right.
I tell you what, that was pretty nice. Well, folks, we've run out of time once again. We'll see you again next time here on Motorhead Garage.
So long.